Hi folks, welcome to the upper ward, the upper garage so to speak. Yeah, I still haven't changed the clock. I should just get another one. Maybe I'll find one over the next few flea market cycles. Anyway, it's about, I don't know, what is that, 3:47. It is April 26th, Saturday, 16.8 degrees centigrade. It's about 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Look at that, my batteries are all charged. If any of you have ever worked night shift, came home this morning and there was it's kind of cloudy, rainy, drizzle, drizzle, it wasn't pouring. That is like the best sleeping weather. You come home and you got some weather like that, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. You could come home, you could sleep, you actually wake up somewhat rested, and then you're able to get rolling with your day. You kind of get a more of a short, deep sleep. I've been up for it since about 2:30. Here, let me show you what I've been up to, what I've been thinking about, what I've been playing with, so to speak. Where to start? This is probably going to turn into two videos. Well, actually, let's start with the work update. That's always a good one. I work for a big company that a lot of people own stock in, and a lot of people track the heck out of. So, for some of the smaller companies out there, it's a little harder to find out what's going on. Like, my son works at a small winery near York, Pennsylvania, where it's a family winery. They make cider also. And when you work for such a company, what's to stop them from selling it tomorrow, right? You have a bunch of family who at any time could just sell it. When you have a big company, the ability to sell and do those kind of things is obviously limited, right? You have the government keeping an eye on you to make sure that whoever buys whatever you're selling doesn't create a monopoly. A lot of people worry about stuff like that. Interesting to find a lithium-ion battery out here. Anyway, so because of that, there's a lot of stuff in the newspapers and so forth regularly, because everybody keeps an eye on the company I work for. So the latest thing is we have a factory, that's a given, and we make certain products at the factory, and the next generation products, a couple of our partners pulled out and joined up with each other and kind of left us behind. So that isn't a good thing, right? That when your partners leave you behind, when you're kind of left at the altar. So that's not good. The second announcement they made, that was made, is my company, in response to that, has decided to sell some of the technology to allow people to manufacture what we make in my factory at their own factories, so they don't have to buy it from us. They don't have to manufacture it where I work. Well, that also is not a very good thing. And the last thing was that the financial folks are beginning to look at the way my company's been doing earnings, and to boost the per share price, they've been borrowing money to buy back shares. So look, I have less shares, therefore my per share earnings are much higher. And you go, wow. But so is the corporation's indebtedness. So the market has finally figured that out and has started punishing the stock to some extent. with the three things I just told you, it's literally kind of getting scary at work. It's like being on the Titanic, and you're slaloming through the ice pack, and you go, well, this isn't a good idea, right? That's kind of the financial stuff. And then your partners pull out on you. That's kind of like hitting the iceberg. And then the final thing is when you realize the technology you have, the manufacturing you're doing and so forth, is now being licensed to other companies so they could do it elsewhere. That's like somebody telling you they sold the pumps that you need to pump out the bilge after you hit the iceberg because you were driving the boat like a jackass through the ice pack. So that's the story at work. The rumor at work, you know, those are facts. Those last three things I told you were facts. I mean, the Titanic analogies were, you know, that was just fun to talk about. But on the fact front, those were facts, the three things. The rumor thing is normally just before a layoff, they shut down job postings. They completely shut down the ability to look around for another job outside because they turn off the job postings. Basically, when you go to look for a job at another site or in another country or whatever you think you want to do, you can't because the site is down for to be honest, you go to the site and you try to look at the listings, and the listings just come up blank. So there's work. Not loving it. So I don't know. I might be making full-time videos pretty soon. For the folks at work, not that I'm the luckiest guy in the world, but you know, I can pull a pension and run on some investments, and assuming the IRS decides to leave me alone and not keep hitting me with all these bills, I'll be okay. Will I be great? No, I will not be great, but I'll be okay. I'll get by, right? For a lot of other folks, they're not quite where I am, where my kids are grown up, where my kids are done with college, you know, where, you know, I got a load of equity in this place. The taxes are high, but from an equity point of view, I'm in good shape. So the bills on the house, once again, the tax bill is high. The rest of the bills are okay. The mortgage bill is okay. So anyway, there's work. How long have I been babbling? I think I have enough time to squeeze in the lift. What I'm going to do with this is, homie doesn't care for this rock and roll. I don't know, how much could you see it? Probably would show it best from the back. Right, so I don't care for this rock and roll. Don't like it at all. I really would like it much more stable. So what I'm going to do is, between here and there, I'm going to put some flat plate, which between these bolts up here and the flat plate here, it kind of forms two sides of a box, and I think that'll help get rid of that. On this side, I'm going to do the same thing. Flat plate between here and the end, right? That'll help get rid of some of this. Down here, for all four of these, I'm basically going to, this metal is bigger than this, so I'm going to open this up, so turn this into basically a bracket, slide it down, weld it on and drill it. So I won't be pivoting just on this point. What will happen is I'll be using a huge section of the rail, so that should help get rid of, let me some of that rocking. I don't know how well you guys can see it. I don't know if close-up is better or worse. So that's what I'm going to do with this thing. I think if I bracket all the bottoms of the legs, like basically I have this top bracketed, right? I think if I bracket that, let me show you, I don't know, does it show it better? See the way this is, right, bolted on both sides, right? It's not tight, which doesn't help, but I don't have the load of movement here. Most of my movement, I don't know, I'm trying to show it to you, I think you guys can see that, is down there. So I think the lower brackets will help. I think the metal top will help, and I think a couple of plates from side to side will help. I was looking at this thing here, and obviously it does put some downward stress, which kind of bends and causes it to rock a little bit, but generally speaking, I guess perhaps I could reinforce this length out a little ways. Maybe if it was reinforced for the full 4 foot out, it would make things a little stronger. I really don't have any bend from there to here, but from there out, I do get some flex, and you can see why, because as you're winching on this, right, you're putting pressure downward, which would bend it. So anyway, that's what's going on in my mind. I could even, if I had to, but the problem is it makes the whole thing bigger, but put another set of rails across and reinforce this thing at a steeper angle. But now it's getting to be, I got a lot of material here and long, so trying to make this, once again, be as flat as possible. So I guess this video was work status and lift reinforcement or something like that, getting the rock out of the lift. So there we are. About the rest of this weekend, complicated. My life is always complicated, right? I can't seem to behave. Got a big flea market tomorrow. Not one of the great ones, but a good one tomorrow. But my son wants me to come out to York, Pennsylvania to look at a house he wants to buy. So that's kind of 8 hours worth of driving tomorrow. Yeah, that sucks. But I don't know what to do about it, right? Family needs you. What do? Say no. I'm a selfish prick. I need to go to the flea market and buy more pliers and half-inch wrenches. This particular flea market, though, I do like it because they have a tendency. There's a family that seems to have connections to get drill bits that are made somewhere in Connecticut that are really, really good drill bits. I mean, these bits are like amazing the way they drill, and they sell them reasonable. Do they give them away? No, but they're cheaper than the Ace hardware bits. I mean, a third of the price, and they're 10 times the quality. So they're not made overseas. They're making them in Connecticut somewhere. I'm not sure where, but they are really, really excellent drill bits. They are not marked, and the packaging is not marked other than it says made in the USA, and the size. They don't even put the town in Connecticut that they're made in. But these things are excellent. They're unbelievable. So I try whenever I go. I kind of consider this flea market as you go through your annual what is a flea market good for thing. This flea market is what I call the stocking flea market. You know, I get my wire brushes, wire wheels, sandpaper, drill bits, clamps, you know, all that stupid stuff. This is the flea market I typically buy it at. So, all right, folks, I'm going to end this video now. I got a second one I need to make, so we'll go through that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down and your head up, and enjoy your weekend, folks. Bye now.